Welcome, friends. Today we are going to discuss an interesting concept in marketing: consumer behavior. Why this topic is more important for a management graduates, especially choosing marketing as their specialization? Because the whole business world is running behind understanding the behavior of consumers. Each business, whatever may be its business, it should have a good understanding of their target consumers. Why? They have to understand how they think and the reasons how they behave. If it is not perfect from marketer's point of view, it is very difficult to give them exactly what they want. Because marketing philosophy is identifying the needs and wants of the customer, tailoring the product based upon the needs and wants, and making availability of the product when they are in need. So if they are not concentrating on understanding how their target customers behave, think, act, it's very difficult for the marketers to sustain in the market. Usually the study of consumer behavior improves the decision making of marketers. Actually, understanding consumer behavior helps the business can make better choices with their marketing and attract more of their target consumers. Usually, consumer behavior is the study of consumption. How a customer disperses his income in purchasing the products and services for his own consumption. It aims to have a better understanding of consumer actions and processes used in their purchase decisions, as well as the usage of products and services and how they dispose of. So that's the reason it's gaining more importance in the management field, understanding consumer behavior. So we are going to dig more related to consumer behavior here. If you actually explore the consumer's emotions, their attitudes, preferences, tastes, which affect the buying behavior, the marketer can come to a conclusion how to decide what type of product or services can be given to the particular target customer. So we will try to dig more related to consumer behavior in this session. As per my plan, this session carries the basic concept of consumer behavior, the factors influencing consumer behavior, and the consumer decision making process. In our next session, we will discuss about the consumer behavior models. Shall we go? Yes. Before starting to know about consumer behavior, we will discuss what it is actually. So we'll have the basic definition of consumer behavior is. What is consumer behavior actually? Consumer behavior is the process involved when individuals or groups select, use, or dispose of products, services, ideas, or experiences to satisfy their needs, wants, and desires. As you know very well, the marketing is behind identifying the needs and wants of the customer. So consumer behavior is a process actually, which involves when an individual or a group try to select, use, or dispose any product or a service or experience a service to satisfy their basic needs, their wants, or their desires. We call it as consumer behavior. Without understanding the concept of consumer behavior, no marketer in the world can survive in the industry actually, right? So here I am going to put you for three different situations from a consumer point of view, what you will do. So this helps you from thinking from that particular consumer point of view. This will make you to understand more how a consumer behaves in a particular situation. So here are these three situations in front of you. The fellow who goes into a restaurant, sits down, and patiently waits while the waitress do everything but take my order. This is the first situation. How will you respond? And the second situation, I'm the fellow who goes into a department store for my need and stands quietly while the sales clerks or the sales attendant finish their little chit chat. And the third situation goes like this. I'm the man who drives into a fuel station and never blows horn but waits patiently while the attendant finishes reading his comic book. So these are all the three situations I just throw to you. Being a consumer, what will be your reaction or action? You just check it out by yourself. If three things happens to you, how will you behave? I must recall the statement of Gandhiji. Customer is the king. That's the point where each and every marketer has to understand how the customer behaves in a particular situation. Frank to say, based upon these three situations, if you encounter in these three situations, you will never try to go to that particular restaurant or at the department store or a fuel station again in your life, even though you have a hard times. So that's the reason this particular topic gains more important in the minds of marketers. Right? Now we are going to see more about consumer behavior. Yes, totality of decisions. This is an important aspect from a consumer point of view because by referring again Gandhiji's statement, customer is the king. So you are the king. So you have to decide. So we have clubbed the totality of decisions here in this slide. What, why, how, when, where, how much, and how often. So these totality of decisions makes a consumer from marketer point of view to be more vital. What I'm going to purchase, what product I'm going to purchase, what service I'm going to experience. I have to decide being a consumer. Why I have to purchase this particular product? What is the need behind this? That's the second. Third, how I'm going to purchase it, how I'm going to experience it, what mode I'm going to experience it. So that's the third type of decisions what a consumer makes. Fourth is when, what time I'm going to make it. This is more important again. And then where, from where I'm going to get these things in order to satisfy my needs and wants. How much I'm going to purchase it. That makes really sense from a customer point of view. And how often I'm going to purchase it. So everything makes the concept of understanding how a consumer behaves from the marketer point of view. So this is what we call it as the totality of decisions, where customer acts as a king in choosing his own products or a brand from the market based upon different availabilities. And he decides what, why, how, when, where, how much, and how often. Right? And next, we are going to discuss about the consumer decision making process. You don't think it of yourself that you will never make a purchase suddenly. Whatever may be the product what you are going to purchase it, you will never make a decision spontaneously or immediately. You will just work it out, something in your mind before a purchase, before you make a purchase. That's the reason I just pointed out consumer behavior is a process. Something will be in your mind before making a decision of what to purchase, where to purchase, when to purchase, why to purchase, likewise. So here I have just given a diagrammatic representation about how the consumer makes their decisions and the factors which supports in making that type of decisions. The factors, cultural factors, social, individual, psychological factors affect all these steps in each and every level of decision making process. And now we are going to concentrate on how a consumer decides for a purchase. As I said already, it will never be a spontaneous one, right? So it automatically starts with problem recognition. That's the starting point for each and every decision making of a consumer. Problem recognition. What is the problem or need for me to purchase this particular product? That's the first step. The second step is, after recognizing the problem or after recognizing the need in my mind, I will try to search information related to that particular product. I will never be satisfied unless otherwise I get a clear-cut idea about, yes, this is what the product gives to me. And the third step is evaluation of alternatives. Since this is a socio-marketing concept, I have n number of alternatives in front of me. This is not a sales concept actually, right? I decide. That's we have discussed in totality of decisions there. So I decide based upon the alternatives in front of me. So what I do, I evaluate the different types of alternatives in order to satisfy my problem need. And then I will try to purchase the product. That's the fourth step in consumer decision making process. After purchasing it, the decision making process will never be stopped. But most of the people are thinking like that. I'm seeing a product in the media through an advertisement. I created some interest. Somehow I purchased it. That's it. No. Again, we move on to the last step, post-purchase behavior. So these are all the consumer decision making process steps. We will discuss each and every step in a clear manner. First, we will discuss about the problem recognition, that is a need recognition. Usually the result of an imbalance between actual and desired state, we call it as the problem recognition stage. What is a need? What is a want? What is a desire? These make sense in each and every minds of consumers. What is the need? What is his want? What is his desire? Because understanding these three things, which have a clear-cut differentiation with each and every concept, a marketer will never get success in his business without understanding the differentiation between need, want, and desire of a consumer. You may think it from a consumer point of view, all are with the same ideologies, but it's not same. I'll just throw an example. A guy who is going for a trekking, who carried his water bottle, when he just continued his trekking, he just fell down from a mountain to a cave. Since it's very deep, he couldn't make himself to come out of that particular cave. So he's just waiting for the other people to get out of that particular cave. He's just waiting for the other people. But he couldn't find any people. He's just drinking the water what he have carried out, and he is just waiting for the people. 1 day completed, 2 days completed, 3 days completed, 4 days completed. He couldn't get anything to eat. The water is over. So he's just there in the cave without losing his hope, waiting for the people for the rescue. Somehow his friends have identified him, pointed out where he is, and they came with the rescue team and they rescued. After 4 days, when he have been rescued, the rescue man asked a question, what do you want? Yes, he was very much tired. He doesn't have any food for the past 4 days. She was very much tired. So the rescue man asked, what do you want? Automatically, from a person who are not having a food for the past 4 days, the first answer will be, I need a food. That's what we call it, it's the need, the basic. And if he asks, I need a chicken burger, automatically it shows that he wants it. And if he again asks that chicken burger should be from McDonald's, that's what we call it as the desire. This what the minute differentiation between need, want, and desire. Understanding this differentiation helps the marketers to go beyond satisfying the expectations of the consumers and making them to feel delighted by the products or services. So problem recognition plays a vital role, and we have to think it of how to recognize the unfilled wants. This is another question in front of the marketers. How to recognize the unfilled wants of a particular consumer. So make a proper relationship with the consumer. Creating a good relationship will execute, understand or analyze how he behaves. So that's problem recognition, which gains a very good role in consumer decision making process. And we will move on to the second step in consumer decision making process. Before that, we will discuss more related to the need which can be triggered by internal and external stimuli. As I explained with the example, the internal stimuli usually refers to a personal perception experienced by a consumer, such as a hunger, thirst, and so on. And the external stimuli include the outside influences such as advertising or word of mouth. So these two things automatically creates or triggers or stimulate the needs of a customer, the problem recognition of the customer, the problem need of the customer. So that's about the first step. We will move on to the second step. Information search. Information search, when we have been clear with what is our need, automatically we will try to search the information related to that particular product or a service, where it will be available, in what format, how can I get it, likewise. So this gains again importance in consumer decision making process. Without a information search, a customer will never make a good decision of purchasing. So this information search is classified into two concepts. One is internal search and another one is external search. Internal search is recalling past information stored in our memory, right? And the external search is seeking information in the outside environment. Usually the internal search concentrates on memory thinking, right? Use of what is inside our consumer's mind. What I think, actually, I have some image related to the particular product. When there is a need for me, automatically I will work it out for whether I can choose. I will just make a priority based upon my own memory. I can choose this product or a brand, and I can move with the purchase. But I will not make a purchase. I will have based upon the recalling nature, right? And it is typically used more for relatively low involvement decisions. If I have low involvement decisions, I will pick up from my internal memory, and I just saw this thing and I just heard these things, likewise it goes. So it is particularly for the low involvement decisions for a purchase. But whereas external search helps you a lot, while it concentrates more on high involvement decisions. Okay, it's purely from a word of mouth or from media like advertisements and posters or banners, what you just see in the market. And the store visits, when you visit the store, when you see a pamphlet or when you see the in-store displays within the department store, automatically it creates some stimulation, and automatically you will have an idea of purchasing that particular brand or a product, and you will make a trial. When you visit a department store, when they give us samples, and when you trial it, it may be good for you, and you have some opinion related to the product, and automatically that also will come to your mind, and you will complete your information search like this. So that's information search. What drives a search? That's the basic ideology behind each and every consumer mind. And this is based upon the perceived risk. Perceived risk is what I really expect from a product or from a company about its brand. It's based on 5 types of risks. One is performance risk, whether the purchased product will perform in a proper way or not. So that's the first risk, performance risk. Second is financial risk. How much I invest, whether the particular product what I purchase have the value for the money. So that's the second, financial risk. And third is the physical risk, whether the product what I purchase from the market creates harm or makes harm to me or to my fellow people. And fourth is a social risk. By consuming the product or by using this product, whether I can get bad image in the minds of society. And finally, time loss risk. By searching the information related to the product what I'm going to purchase, whether it is waste of time. So these are all the usual perceived risk from a consumer point of view, which determines the information search for a consumer. Right? We'll move on to our third step. Okay. Before that, we will discuss about, as I said already, low involvement decisions and for lesser involvement decision. What you usually do from a consumer point of view. If you need a less information, automatically it is less risk. If you need more information, you will go with more risk. This is based upon the drives what makes you to choose either an internal memory or an external memory. Right. The third is evaluation of alternatives. As I said, this is the market where we have a lot of alternatives for each and every product and services. In determining which alternative, or when you want to purchase a product, when we have 5 type of product or brand in front of you, what you will do usually? We will try to analyze it. Generally, most of the people will work it out, these 4 analysis: strength, weakness, opportunities and threats. Again, your evaluation of alternatives have these 4 major concepts in each and every minds of customers. First one is consideration set. What is the reason behind purchasing this particular brand or a product in front of me? Whenever you want to purchase a product, certain brands will be in your mind. You just make priority on those particular brands and you will try to work it out. That's what we call it as the consideration set. If I want to purchase this product, definitely I will choose this brand. This is the mentality of most of the consumers. So this particular consideration set will influence the evaluation of alternatives. Second, you will try to analyze the product attributes. In what way this particular product gives me more chances of a performance when compared to the other brands available in the market. That's the second set. Third is use cutoff criteria. That is, you work it out this 4th, strength and weakness of a product, whatever you choose. And the 4th word is multi-attribute models. Multi-attribute model is very simple of understanding what is the extra thing or features I'm going to get from that particular product when I purchase it. As I said, this is the market. What we are all living is the consumer dominates himself in choosing a product because customer satisfaction is no more in the market at present. Now, marketers are concentrating more on stimulating the customer delight. What all the customers have not expected is tried to fulfilled by these marketers. So when a customer purchases a product, he not alone look for the actual performance of a product, he expects more from it. A very good example related to this is a mobile phone. Actually, the mobile phone marketers have not at all concentrating in giving the core objective of the mobile phone in their advertisements. Instead, they are just concentrating on giving a perfect camera, battery. Likewise, they are just giving extra features and then they are just promoting their product. That's what we call it as multi-attribute models. So these four concepts automatically determines the impact of valuation of alternatives. Now, fourth step in a the consumer enters into the shop or browse into the net, purchase the product. If what we call it as an action. So he tried to buy. Here, to buy or not to buy, that's a decision where in the fourth step a consumer will make it. Right? Whether to buy or not to buy. If he buy a product, it is termed as a purchase. If he not to buy, automatically the purchase decision is dropped here. Usually marketing determines which attributes are most important in influencing a customer choice. Where marketers are trying to find a fine tuning related to this understanding. In what particular point, a consumer decides whether to buy or not to buy. The final stage of a consumer decision making process is post-purchase behavior. This is more important for a marketer as well as from a consumer point of view, because here in this particular stage, exposes the reaction of a consumer, whether he have made a good decision or bad decision. It will be reflected through his likes and dislikes, the ideas what he just give related to the taste and preferences, and the satisfaction towards the product. Everything will be clubbed here. So this is the point where the consumer decides whether to repurchase or stop the purchase of the particular brand or a product what you have purchased. So automatically this is an important aspect from a consumer point of view as well as from a marketer point of view. Here we are going to discuss a new concept. We call it as cognitive dissonance. What do you mean by cognitive dissonance? Usually it is a mental discomfort from a consumer point of view after purchasing a product or a brand or experiencing the service. This happens because of his stored attitude or values or beliefs. Automatically these things will make a conflict with each other and try to give an embarrassed situation for a consumer whether he have made a good decision or not after purchasing it. Mind it, it is after purchasing it. He will be in a doubtful mentality, and he will be in what we usually say it as he will be feeling more guilty, and he will regret for why I have purchased this. And finally he will make up himself and try to justify or rationalize himself. Yes, somewhat I made a good purchase, right? So this we call it as cognitive dissonance. And usually three questions arises in the minds of customer. One is, did I make a good decision? Did I buy the right one? And did I get a good value, what I have spent for purchasing the product? So these three questions arise in the minds of a consumer after purchasing a product, and this is what we call it as a cognitive dissonance. So from marketer point of view, identifying this and trying to close the gap of a consumer cognitive dissonance by various ways, and I have listed 4 ways where the marketers can minimize this. First one is by providing an effective communication. Communication, it means by providing good news related to the product what you have purchased, by the advertisements or the banners or by public relations and or by publicity, just exposing that the product what you have purchased is a good one. So by the way, they can minimize the cognitive dissonance of a consumer. Second category is follow-up. Follow-up is again making a good relationship with the customers. Here a CRM plays a vital role. And third one is about Guarantee, you know very well. If anything happens after your purchase to the product what you purchased, then automatically the particular part will be replaced. That's what we call it as a guarantee. And warranty, again, within a year, or usually people will give within a year or 2 years, the product itself will be replaced by the company. That's what we call it as a warranty. So by these ways, the marketers can minimize the gap of cognitive dissonance in the minds of customers. Right. So these are all the steps we have discussed. By this, we have completed the first part in consumer behavior, and in next part we will discuss the factors which influence consumer behavior. If you have any doubts, you please post your queries.